So hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel Night Technologies. So in today's video we'll be looking at HTML comments and favicon. Okay, HTML comments and favicon. But before we go into that, let me run a kind of a recap on our previous videos. In our previous videos we talk about the HTML elements and attribute part 1 and HTML elements and attribute part 2. In the HTML element, we talked about that element is the combination of what? The opening tag and closing tag and content that goes in between them. That's what makes up a what? HTML element. Combination of HTML tags and content is what makes up what? HTML element. And this HTML element, we have the opening, must have the opening and closing tag. Anyone that has the only opening tag will be regarded as an empty what? Element or null or void what? Element. So HTML attribute is just the properties or characteristics of what? A HTML element. Like they add additional information to the what? HTML element. Like some attribute adds color, they add background color, they add a border color to the what? HTML what? Element. Just if you want to add the color, background color and what? The border color, you will achieve that by using the word style attribute of the word HTML element. So in today's video, we are going to learn about HTML comment and favicon. How to what? Write comments. You know, they say that comment is good for program documentation and it helps the non-word programmer to be able to understand what the code is all about. It helps the beginners in programming to understand what the code is all about. Like it also helps you to structure your code. Each session will be commented, that it will not help the beginner to know what the particular session with particular set of code is what talking about. So let's proceed. The first thing we need to do is I need to show you how a basic website structure goes. You know, your website are stored in folders and files. So we need to create a folder. I will now store all our properties inside the word folder. Like we create a folder that will house the word web file. So inside the web file, we now have a folder, another folder inside the folder that houses the web file. We now call that folder asset. We call the other one maybe vendors, where you got some plugins from. We can call the other one maybe database. So let's just create a basic website structure. How you do save your website. We save it in folders and in file. Let's get started. So the first thing you are going to do is to create a folder. Come to your desktop. You want to use desktop as a location. It's a new folder. Okay, you can name the folder maybe test website. Okay, you click enter. Okay, that's the folder. You now open the folder. So inside the folder, you're going to create other folders because test website is just the root folder. So if you open the root folder, there is going to be other folders and files. Okay, so the first folder we are going to create there is assets. Assets. Okay, we create another folder known as vendors. Okay, we create another folder known as database. So let's just go with these 3 folders. Okay, so inside the asset folder we are going to create another folder because this asset folder will house your CSS. Okay, it also has your images and has some JavaScript codes in case you include JavaScript code on your website. So the next thing you are going to do is to create the first folder. Name is CSS. Okay, create the second one. You name the folder JX, that's JavaScript. You create the next folder and name it images. This is where your image file will be stored. So there is one thing I want to tell you before we commence with HTML favicon. You need to for the search engine policy is you need to drop your favicon file inside the what root folder, not inside the folder, inside the root folder, just inside the root folder for it to be able to what seen on the what search engine listing. Because some sites, when you browse through some sites and you saw them on search engine listing, there is a particular place the icon of the website is supposed to show. Icon is known as favicon, and favicon is your favorite what icon. So there is a place that the icon of the website is supposed to show on the search engine listing. If you notice that some of these sites their favicon doesn't show, that means they'll fail to adhere to the what Google policy, Google search engine what policy, that demands you to what drop the favicon file inside the root folder, not inside the folder in the root folder. So you now understand. So the best thing we are going to do is to adhere to the what practices of what Google search engine. So the next thing we are going to do is to open these folders we have created to see how our website structure looks like in the what Visual Studio Code. That's our code editor. So we minimize. You go to your Visual Studio Code, you click on open folder on your new window. Click on open folder, you locate the folder on desktop. Okay, the name of the folder is test website. Okay, that's the name of the folder. That's the folder. You select folder. Okay, so you can see that it's very simple to add. Okay, that's your folders. Okay, that's your root folder, test website. So inside your root folder, you're going to create a file as the index file. This is just the basic HTML. So that's where you create a file. It's more easier to do that. Okay, so you can see that this is the way you structure your website. They'll appear in what folders and in files. Okay, you create your root file, call it index.html. That's the first file that will be loaded once your website is launched on the web browser. The first file it will see is the index.html, because the index.html is on your root file, unless you make some adjustment with the help of .htaccess file. htaccess will now help you to either load from home.html or load from login.html. But by default, the first file that is loaded once the website is launched on the browser is the index.html file, which must be created in the root folder of the website. So the next thing I'm going to do is I need to show you how comments looks. Okay, so we have created our asset. If you open your asset, you will also see the image folder. That's where we are going to store our images. Okay, so what the next thing we are going to do is to first of all get the basic structure of a web HTML document. Your shift 1, enter. So that's the basic structure you save with your Control S. Okay, that's the basic structure of your HTML document. So the next thing we are going to do is I want to explain to you what is HTML comment and what it's all about. So let's proceed. As I said, that HTML comments are not displayed in the browser, but they can help document your HTML source code. Okay, your set of code is known as source code. Okay, the set of code is just known as source code. The code you are writing, all these codes you are writing inside your text editor is known as source code. So let's proceed. I said HTML comment tag. You can add comments to HTML source by using the following syntax. It has its own syntax. Okay, so let me show you how the syntax works. So let's say inside your body, maybe you want to add some details here. This is how the syntax works. First of all, capture your your less than sign. Okay, you put your exclamation mark and 2 hyphen. Okay, you can see that it has already shown you the closing tag. So anything you want to write, you go in between these. You can say that this is where my comment goes. Okay, this is just the simple way of adding comment in HTML. So let's look at the next thing we have there. So comments are not displayed by the web browser, note that, but they can help you document your HTML source code. Okay, so that's the thing. So you can add comment anywhere. Also be in mind that you can add comment anywhere. You can add it anywhere. You can, with comment, you can place notification and reminders in your HTML code. Okay, like where you need to add an important information, you can always comment. Okay, that's how comment works. So comment can be used to hide comments. Yes, you can use comment to hide what? Content, sorry. Comment can be used to hide content. So any content you don't want to use, for example, I don't want to use these meta tags and title, I'll just highlight it and click on Control, your question mark sign on your keyboard. Okay, I will just comment. You can see that I have commented. So if I want to uncomment it, I will just hold down my Control key and click back my question mark symbol on my keyboard to uncomment. So you can see that comment is used to what? It's used to hide what? Content. So that's one of the benefits of, another benefit of what? Comments. So comments can either be inline or it can be within the what? Content of the web page. So you can come and write content inline, meaning that, for example, you want to write content on this body, you can just say maybe this is where my body content goes. So any content that appears here is known as inline what? Comment. So this comment that appears here is known as what? Inline comment. So that's how comment works. Okay, so that's how comment works. So let's look at the next thing we have there. Let's look at HTML favicons. Let's look at firstly what favicon means and what it's all about. So we can see that the favicon is a small image displayed next to what? The page title in the browser tab. Okay, just like as you are seeing our Ednight Technology website, our scholarship, you can see that this is the favicon. The favicon is showing here. Okay, the favicon is showing here. So the favicon is showing, and it's showing that it's showing next to the word page title in the word browser tab. So I'm going to show you how to add favicon. I will also explain to you different file formats for favicon. Okay, so how to add favicon in your HTML code. How do you add favicon? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself before we come to the favicon word 5 support format. So the first thing we are going to do is to add our favicon. So either you make the link comes before the meta tag or after the title, anyhow you want to write it. So let's go like this. To add favicon, can you first of all use comments and say favicon goes here. Okay, so can say link relationship to be equal to link relationship to be equal to icon. So the link, the hypertext reference will be now favicon.png. Okay, so we now have to make some adjustment to that. We can say that is there's make adjustment to our title. Test what? Test sites home. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is test site home. So I need to call this favicon file. I need to get it. You can see that the file is not present, so I need to capture this file. So let's just go to our browser and get any icon for our favicon. You can just say logo icons in PNG. Okay, so let's just use, so let's get this. So let's get this. So let's save. You can just name it another story to the Favicon. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do is to capture it, and we need to cut it and paste inside our root folder. Okay. So that's the thing. So we have done that. Okay, it has appeared. So the next thing you do is to make sure that the Favicon is working properly. You copy parts, go to your web browser, you paste the parts. Okay. So you need to check. You need to check the Favicon is working properly. Copy parts. So you can see that the Favicon is showing, meaning that it's working properly. So the Favicon can either be in different file formats. It can be in SVG, your scalable vector graphics. It can be in PNG, portable network graphics. It can also be in your Favicon can be in icon format, .ico. So it depends. So let's say that we say link relationship icon. Can say type image /png. So this particular attribute will specify the file format of the Favicon. So that's the thing. So thank you very much. Find this content useful, please do like, subscribe, and comment on our